Throughout history, people have tried to classify human beings in various ways in order to better understand and compartmentalize the behavior of other people. We've seen this done with horoscopes, we've seen this done with race, religion, with culture, with various subcultures, with various societies. It's even argued that we've seen this with Greek and Roman gods and with various figures throughout history too. You can even relate various tarot cards to archetypes that can be connected to various kinds of people and their behavior. In medieval psychology, there was something known as the four humors. And we're not talking about humors as in ha-ha funny humors. We're talking about the four different fluids that come from the human body. Now, modern day science tells us there's much more than just four fluids that come out of the human body. But historically, we also thought there was only four elements: earth, water, wind, and fire. And the four humors in this case are blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. It's funny because I think humans want everything nice and neat, compartmentalized, in easy to understand ways. They want things to be broken down into fours. That doubling effect, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. It's very much prevalent in our music. It's almost as if it's the language of nature. Music, I mean. But I'm getting a little off topic. I don't want to talk so much about music here today. I want to talk more about these four different archetypes that human beings can be classified into and why I think that they're worth checking out. So the theory of the four humors was that there's four different humors in the body, the four different fluids, and that they had to be in good balance in order for you to achieve optimal health. And in some schools of thought, they felt as though if you were feeling sick or ill in some capacity, you needed to get rid of some of the blood, so they had to do some bloodletting, perhaps with leeches or perhaps with a razor of some sort. The theory of the four humors by modern analysis is, of course, absolutely absurd and completely outdated at this point. So I'm not here to talk about that. You can find a bunch of different YouTube videos on the four humors and what that was all about and that history of science and quackery when it comes to medical history and things like that. I'm more interested in talking about the four different archetypes that come from two axes. The x-axis being friendly and hostile, and the y-axis being strong and weak. In the box, if you draw it, looks a little something like this. You have friendly strength in the upper right-hand corner, you have hostile strength in the upper left-hand corner, the bottom right corner you have friendly weakness, and the bottom left corner you have hostile weakness. Now, all four of these are examples of archetypes, or typical examples of certain types of people. Now, I'm interested in this grid for a number of reasons, and a lot of it comes down to a book that I read a while back called Prometheus Rising by Robert Anton Wilson. This, of course, is one of the newer copies. Older copies look a little different on the cover, and you can find a free version of this on the internet. Maybe I can leave a link down below, or you can just search Prometheus Rising PDF to know more about this awesome, awesome book. Anyways, that book is where I learned all about this grid, and this grid is a simplified version of Timothy Leary's Interpersonal Grid. So Tim Leary's Interpersonal Grid is by far a lot more intense and a lot more detailed when it comes to classifying these various archetypes of people. But the point of this video is not to get into this thing, and this is pretty intense. I want to deal with the simplified version of it, and if you're interested in it, you can check out more videos on, say, Tim Leary's version of the Interpersonal Grid. So these four archetypes, it's said inside the book Prometheus Rising, if they're all caught on an island, this is what would happen. Hostile strength will not have it any other way. They have to be in charge and they have to call all the shots no matter what, and they'll put up a fight to the death even if it means that they get to stay in power. No one else can be in power, no way, no how. They are the one who's going to call the shots. They're the alpha. Friendly strength will give hostile strength the power in order to make sure everything runs smoothly, but at the same time will attempt to maintain order, protect everyone else on the island, and make sure that they keep hostile strength in check. Friendly weakness will just be happy that someone else is taking responsibility and making the decisions. They're of course very happy that friendly strength is around to protect everyone else on the island from the hostile strength ruler, and they just need someone to hold them and tell them everything's going to be okay, and perhaps even have someone tell them what to do. Perhaps collect coconuts on the island, or collect bananas, or find a way to get fresh water out of salt water. That would be very useful if you're stuck on an island. And last but not least, we have hostile weakness. Hostile weakness, if they were stuck on an island with these three other hypothetical people, or the archetypes we're discussing, they would be happy to not make any decisions whatsoever, and they would criticize anything and everything anyone else is doing in order to maintain survival, and they will just be negative overall about everything going on, and complain about everything. Everything's doom and gloom all the time. They always point out problems, never offer any solutions, and so on and so forth. So when you consider these four different personality traits, sometimes certain ones come to mind where you think, oh, friendly strength, that reminds me of these people in my head. Or hostile weakness, I know plenty of people that are like that. Or friendly weakness, We know plenty of people who are like that. And of course, we've seen plenty of hostile strength with people in high positions of power who have it no other way. They have to be in charge. No ifs, ands, or buts. It goes down to politics, goes down to religious hierarchies, it goes into companies. Anywhere there's a hierarchy or a pecking order, hostile strength tends to rise to the top, that dominant personality trait or that dominant archetype within them. Now, it's important to consider, too, that not any one person is always one of these 4 quadrants or one of these 4 archetypes. You could, for instance, take a look at one day of your life and break down every single moment of the day at what point you were dominant one of those 4 quadrants. So, for instance, let's make up a hypothetical situation. Say you left your house early in the morning to go to work. You are playing the role of friendly strength to your family. You're letting know everything's going to be okay. You feed your kids, you take care of house plants, you feed your pet, etc. You leave to go to work only to adopt the role of friendly weakness. You have to be friendly, you have to be told what to do to get things done. You don't want to be in a position of authority when your boss comes in the room. Their job is to tell you what to do and your job is to go, okay, and you do your job. And then while you're at work, you get a phone call from your partner and they say the kids have been really bad. So when you come home, you have to be hostile strength and punish all of them. And after a really long day at work and after coming home and punishing the kids, you decide to go out to the bar and have a drink in depression. And you talk about how life is dark and it's never gonna get any better, and then now all of a sudden you're hostile weakness, right? So it's fair to say that any one of these 4 archetypes can be applied to any given person at any given moment throughout a day, or even a month, or a year, or a week. And it's arguable that all of us, within ourselves, have the potential to adopt any one of these 4 archetypes in our day-to-day lives. It's just a matter of perspective and who wants to assign these 4 archetypes to you. It's a matter of who's observing you at that moment, whether it's yourself or someone else, and they apply that particular archetype to you. I mean, you can inhabit all 4 of these archetypes within the course of one day, or even within 1 hour, depending on what sort of authority that you have, or what sort of authority you don't have, what sort of responsibilities you have or don't have. An interesting way to break down these 4 personality archetypes is with these 4 scripts. Friendly strength, their script would be, I'm okay, you're okay. You can chalk that up to being the good parent. Hostile strength would be more along the lines of, I'm okay, you're not okay. So this script is more of the authoritarian, right? This is more of the politician, priest, psychologist. You know what I'm talking about, the people out there who feel qualified to tell you how you ought to be. I'm okay, you're not okay. Let me tell you how you need to behave. Priests, politicians, psychologists, and so on. The 3 Ps. And then we have friendly weakness, which the script is, I'm not okay, you're okay. And unfortunately, I think that's what our society breeds and tries to mold people into, this friendly weakness category. Our capitalistic consumer culture really wants most people to be friendly weakness. They want to tell people when to buy stuff and to behave properly, to follow all the rules, and to be, well, a good little sheep, so to speak. I don't mean to bring up the lion and sheep imagery, I know that's been overdone, but you get the idea, friendly weakness. I'm not okay, but you're okay, so tell me what I should do. And then hostile weakness. I'm not okay, you're not okay, nothing's okay, everything's horrible, is more or less the hostile weaknesses script. And you can see people who operate and live that way. The very depressed ones, the ones that are all doom and gloom, the paranoid conspiracy theorists, the ones who feel like the whole world's out to get them and it's all about them all the time. Yeah, hostile weakness is not a fun place to be, and it's unfortunate that some people fall into this trap of getting stuck inside of a hostile weakness mindset for days, weeks, or even months, or even years sometimes. And it can be depressing to watch that happen, but all you can do is hope to be the good parent, be the friendly strength person, and try to show them a better way to operate in their day-to-day lives. So it's also worth noting that those friendly strength people out there typically have messianic complexes. Yay! You don't need to try to save the world or nothing, but it's a better script to be operating on, is my point. Friendly strength is by far, in my opinion, the best script to operate if we are limited to these 4 personality archetypes. I think that's just about it for these personality archetypes. Thanks very much for watching this video to the end. I appreciate it very much. If you're interested in more about this personality grid, then you might want to check out Robert Anton Wilson's Prometheus Rising book. It's available on PDF on the internet for absolutely free if you search Robert Anton Wilson Prometheus Rising PDF. You'll find something on it. It's available for free out there. And if you're interested in Tim Leary's Interpersonal Grid, which is this big thing right here, it's absolutely fascinating. Definitely worth checking out if you're interested in the concept of personality archetypes. It's mind-blowing. The more you learn about it, the more you're like, whoa. And not so much whoa in that Keanu Reeves kind of way, but whoa in that mind-blown kind of way. Anyways, folks, thanks very much for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. If you're new to my channel, please know that I post a lot here on YouTube. I'm a chaotic poster. I post about all sorts of stuff. I like posting about food, about language, consciousness, circus and flow arts tutorials, all sorts of stuff. And the best way to understand what I'm all about is to check out my playlist section here on my channel, all the various interests I have, and I organize everything nice and neat there. And you might also want to note that every Sunday I post another tutorial on something to do with the circus and flow arts. So if you are a beginner and you are interested in learning how to juggle, or juggle clubs, or contact juggle like David Bowie did in the Labyrinth with those crystal balls, pretty cool, or how to spin things on your finger, we call this pediddling. You can do this with pretty much anything nice and flat like ring binders, books, plates, couch pillows, stuff like that, or in this case a server tray up above. Or you can learn how to do the devil sticks. This is probably my longest running circus and flow arts prop, the one I've been doing for the longest amount of time that I just absolutely love doing and playing with them. All these things are very good for your circulation, your coordination, your concentration, and other things that begin with the letter C as well. And my tutorial videos are specifically geared towards the absolute beginner. So if you have any one of these props, or if you have a pillow lying around that's nice and flat and you're interested in learning how to spin it, why not check out my Circus and Flow Arts playlist section, click on that, check out the bediddling video, and you'll be surprised from what you can learn in a matter of 15-20 minutes. And if you're not new to my channel, thanks very much for watching all of that. You've probably seen that pitch a number of different times. And also, I want to announce that I'm very excited about a budget decrease here at my studio. Yes, you've probably noticed that I have a small bowl of almonds next to me now, in addition to my small bowl of chocolates, the paper flowers, and this beautiful rare piece of artwork. And not to mention about this strange book that's on the lower shelf that we probably shouldn't even think about nor pay any attention to, because it will never ever be relevant in any videos in the future. Anyways, folks, I appreciate you watching this at the very end. Remember to never give up. Do your best, stay true to you, and be amazing, folks. Thanks for watching, and good night.